Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Trading Card Game live video. My name is Jamie and today I'll be taking you through another deck, that featured at the Pokemon World Championships this year of 2025. But of course, just before we do go into the video, if you do like this type of content and you want to see some more content related to the Pokemon Trading Card Game, then as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course like this video. So let's have a look at this deck, which is another deck which is, I suppose, no surprise really. This is a deck that has been featuring quite a lot in Dragapult. This was the second place list. So Dragapult EX, a Terra Pokemon, 320 HP Dragon type, and has no weakness, no resistance, which is pretty good. However, there are some drawbacks to that, as we'll soon find out. But yeah, it has this attack here, Phantom Dive, which is predominantly the attack that we're using, 200 damage for a Fire and a Psychic Energy. And we can put 6 damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon in any way that we like. So that's the idea. So see, it's pretty strong. So the weakness is, there's no weakness, which is great. Although Lillie's Clefairy EX also exists in the format that slots in very nicely into a lot of Psychic decks as well. Things like Gardevoir and Jellicent as well. So this makes this deck quite vulnerable. So there is that aspect to it. But nonetheless, it's a really, really solid concept. Made even better by its Stage 1 form, Dracloak has this ability here. So Recon Directive allows us to look at the top 2 cards of our deck and of course choose one, put one into our hand, put the other on the bottom of our deck. So that's also really good. Particularly very, very good if you are opened up and or if your opponent item locks you with Budu or Jellicent or whatever, you still have a way of drawing through your deck, which is really, really solid. So anything in the format, this format at the moment, that allows you to draw cards from your deck, especially under item lock, is really, really good. So that's why Dracloak is really solid. So that is Dragapult there for you. 200 damage, which is a little bit shy of getting knockouts. In fact, I think we have to two-shot most things. But it does partner quite well with this card here, which is Dusknoir with Curse Blast. So we can put up to 13 damage counters onto one of our opponent's Pokemon. And then we knock this Pokemon out, so we can see the prize card. But that can set up some pretty nice plays. So 13 damage. Or 130 damage even, sorry. That's 13 damage counters. On top of the 200 here, that makes 330, so that's enough to knock out pretty much most things in the format. So there are a few Pokemon out there that have 340 HP, and if that is the case, or if which is a little bit shy, we also have here Munkidori as well. So we can use this ability, and we can move damage counters from our Pokemon onto their Pokemon as well, so up to 3 damage counters, so that could also take us up to that 340 mark if we needed. So that is the idea. So that's the idea of the deck. Because we do rely on evolutions as well, we also have here Budu as well, 2 of these, especially going second. This is really, really useful. So 30 HP, so you do have to be worried a little bit for things like Munkidori as well, especially if they use damage counters to put that on Budu, then they can still attack that same turn and we have to promote another Pokemon, so that's also worth keeping in mind. So, but yeah, other Pokemon in the deck, Hawlucha, flying entry there, so you can put choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and put 1 damage counter on them. So also really, really good. Adds up some numbers in the format as well, so that's also worth keeping in mind. So yeah, if you are trying to go for that 340, for instance, we're hitting 330, then Hawlucha is the play, so it can help you hit some numbers. Also, there are a lot of Pokemon in the format that have 210 HP as well. So things like, for example, Fezandipity, which we're playing 1 of, some Ogerpons and things like that. So all those types of Pokemon, we can use Hawlucha to put the damage on them and then one-shot them with Dragapult with Phantom Dive. So that's the idea behind that. And other Pokemon, Ursaluna, pretty solid, very good late game attacker. So, and of course just the 1 Latias as well, so that helps us to retreat our Pokemon. We do play a lot of basics in here as well, so even though we are reliant on evolutions, Munkidori, Fezandipity for instance, Hawlucha as well, so it's always nice having free retreat in the deck for your basic Pokemon. So that is the Pokemon line. Trainer line, we're looking a little bit like this. So 3 Counter Catcher they played, which is really, really heavy on Counter Catcher. Presuming that they are relying on going behind and then you use Counter Catcher to bring up things and knock them out. Interestingly, they also play 2 bosses as well. So that was also really, really interesting. On top of 4 Rescue Stretcher. No Super Rods, just Rescue Stretchers in this deck. That will enable us to get things back, but also most notably probably things like our Dusknoir line as well. So just to make sure that we're consistently hitting those 330s if we need them. So that is the idea behind that. Trainer lines or supporter line evens looking like this. So 4 Iona in there, 4 research. Very consistent or focusing here on consistency. And Hilda as well. So Hilda's also really good, can get us some energy cards and of course get some evolution Pokemon as well. So that's also the idea behind that. Interestingly, no rare candy in this deck. So the idea is just to go through the stages. So yeah, no rare candy in the deck, so that's also worth noting. And of course 2 Jamming Tower in there as well, so just to turn off all tool cards as well. There are a lot of Pokemon in the format, especially basic Pokemon, that you can utilize things like Bravery Charm, for instance. So we want to make sure that we're turning those off and we're able to get those one-shots if possible. So yeah, another Pokemon or other trainer cards here, or item cards. We've got down here Buddy Buddies, and of course Ultra Ball to help us set up. So that is the trainer line. And energy, we're looking a little like this. So we've got here Luminous Energy as well. So this is pretty good, just because it helps with our Dragapult as well. Also notably as well, what it does is it helps us fuel for this Munkidori as well, because with Munkidori we can also then move the energy of move the damage of Munkidori, so that's why I've got that in there. 1 Fire, 2 Psychic in there, so again putting a lot of emphasis here on the Luminous Energy, as well as the fact we've also got here Night Stretcher as well. We can get this energy back if we need to get back some Psychic and some Fire Energy. Interestingly as well, the ace spec of the deck is Neo Upper Energy. So we can also just power up our Dragapult in 1 turn with this Neo Upper Energy as well. So that's also the idea behind that. But that is the idea of the deck. So this is probably, I would say, not really a surprise in the format, given how strong Dragapult is. Perhaps what is a surprise is the fact that I presume there was a lot of Gardevoir being played there. So how it kind of got around Gardevoir, that would be interesting to see. Considering that most Gardevoir, in fact I think all Gardevoir variants, play Lillie's Clefairy EX in there as well. So, but that's the deck. Let's go and play a game with it, and let's see how it plays out in practice. Okay, let's go with heads. Why not? See if we go first or second. If we go second, we also do, because there's the 2 Budu in there, so tails, we flipped it wrong. That's also fine. We've also got the 2 Budu in there, so hopefully we can open up with a Budu and item lock our opponent as well. We'll get a turn of item cards as well, so we can utilize things like the Netsballs and the Buddy Buddies. We'll go first. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. All right. Wonder what they're playing. Okay, so we do open up with a Budu. Always good to start Budu anyway, just because it has free retreat. So that's also good. We're going first anyway, so that's fine. We'll just hold out before we start putting things down. Oh, okay, it looks like they're playing something very similar to us. Or it could be Cerulege, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, but at the moment as it stands, our hand is okay. It's not bad. We would really need to get... okay, Mulligan, that's going to be very useful. Dragapult, okay. That's fine. Hold on just a moment. Cerulege, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I saw this deck online, actually. Oh, nice. Okay, Ultra Ball. Yeah, I saw this deck online, actually, in reference to this Cerulege / Ho-Oh concept. So, let's do that. We're going to have to ditch those 2 for the moment. I don't really want to, but we really need to get out a Dreepy there, so let's get that out. And at least then we've got Dracloak for turn 2. We can then start using Dracloak and try to draw through our deck. So that's the idea. So good. Okay, saved on the Ultra Ball. Saved on the Ultra Ball. Let's see what we draw next turn. So yeah, we need to get... Oh, okay, all right. That's the drawback of the deck, is that most decks do generally run Buddy Buddy. I presume we also saw in their hand as well, I think when they had a Mulligan, they've got the Luminous Energy in there as well, so they can actually utilize the Clefairy there as well. But 190 HP is not a lot of HP, so we can actually do some damage there, so we can get a 60 off with Dragapult. That would be one form or one way. And then the... sorry, Dragapult with... yes, with the Dragapult damage... we can put 60 damage on the bench, and then of course if we get a Dusknoir, that's also 130, 161, that's 190. We can knock it out that way. I suppose the question is how many recovery item cards do they have? So things like yeah, Rescue Stretchers and Super Rods, so they can probably get that back is the issue. But nonetheless, Yeah, so they can see that they're very focused on getting the Clefairy out. Let's see. Just to mention to your bench Ethan's Pokemon. Okay, so they can't use Ho-Oh to power up their Clefairy there, so that's fine. And we still need a turn. Again, no rare candy in the deck, so we still need our turn more, at least, to get our Dragapult out. Okay, cool. I mean, I'm starting to see some prize map a little bit here. Mews on the bench, Squawkabilly's on the bench. We can also hit those as well. So 200, that would knock them out. 60 damage percent to 100. Does that hit anything? Perhaps maybe a Dusknoir as well. Lattice, okay, cool. All right. 180, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. I'm starting to see some... it's a very heavy bench. So yeah, Horlucha would do 10 damage to that, and that becomes that in, it puts that in knockout range. Right, so there's a prize map here. I can see certainly some plays here depending on how we draw. All right, we can item lock them. That's also good. So nice Stretcher. That's not very useful at all. Dusknoir. Okay, let's just stick that down for the moment. Okay. Let's use Recon there, draw. Hilda, and okay, well, the Luminous is not going to really do too much for us at the moment, so we're going to take a Hilda. We've got Neon Upper in hand as well, so let's get a Dusknoir. Oh, sorry, Dusklops even, and we'll take it. We'll take a Psychic Energy there. Okay, so we'll keep Neon in hand, just in case. The fear is here, if they use Iono, then that Neon goes into the bench. We can't then use it the following turn, so that becomes a fear. That's why I'm just tempted to attach the basic energy onto the Dracloak there. Alright, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Should we attach, should we not, should we attach, should we not? Let's leave it. Let's leave it on that. Next turn we can push with Dragapult there. They're item locked, so that's also good. Hopefully that restricts us to what they can do. If not, if we do get Ioned, we can just focus more on the setup. We'll take 6 cards anyway, so... Alright. That's fine. We'll just focus on setting up. That's fine. And we've actually got a pretty decent hand as well. We don't have to push at the moment. There's no urgency to push at this moment in time. To bench Ethan's okay, so to Ho-Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no urgency to push, and it also activates our counter catchers as well. If we get that, if they knock out the Budu, then we've also got counter catchers. Okay, we can also utilize that as well. We run. Wait, do they put that down when they don't have a Terra Pokemon? Okay, thanks very much. Okay, so when we put Dragapult down, we'll get more bench space as well. That's also really good. We've got 4 stretches in hand, so yes, take a 30 on that. Yeah, okay, we need to get rid of that Clefairy. That's what we need to do. So it's our, yeah, so I presume, I don't think they run any Psychic Pokemon to attack with minus the Clefairy, hence why they're probably utilizing your opponent's bench as well. Yeah, both yours and your opponent's. Okay, that's probably why they want me to. Okay, interesting. Alright, yeah, this was a deck that featured... Oh, it's not Ceruledge, it's just Amarouge. Yeah, makes sense. I think Ceruledge, Amarouge is what I meant. Yeah, I saw this online as well, I think on Limitless as well. So a few decks that ran this kind of concept, this Amarouge Ho-Oh variant. Which is active Pokemon, cool. So it can be to your active Pokemon, it doesn't have to be to any Pokemon per se. So... Alright, interesting. They're seems as if they're pushing to use Itchy Pollen here. That's very interesting. I've not seen a Mew Itchy Pollen Mew before. So that's fine. Research. Okay, let's do that.
Okay, yes, we do need that. That's very important. Do that.
Alright, next turn, well, we don't need to push at this moment in time. We'll stick into the Budu down just in case. Next turn, I think we push. I think that's the idea. Iona, they've got 2 cards in hand. They're not really doing too much. I think we just Itchy Pollen them back. Another Itchy Pollen, actually, would put that into 160 range. 160 range. Could that hit any numbers? It's 160, no. So we're hitting 200 anyway, so research, okay. Alright. Alright, certainly playing the waiting game here, or the being very patient here. I'm seeing a lot of plays open. I'm just waiting for, if we get knocked out, especially if our Budu gets knocked out, which is kind of what we want, then we have access to things like Counter Catcher. We can knock out the Clefairy as well. Just thinking 200. We can actually just one-shot the Clefairy. We don't even need the Dusknoir there, so we can actually one-shot that. Dusknoir can get rid of the Amarouge, actually. That might be a good play. Because that's exactly 130, so we've got 10 damage on there as well. I'm just wondering how, I suppose that's quite big in terms of their strategy, in terms of moving the energy. I guess that's kind of important. So as often as you like, you can move a fire energy from your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. Okay, so probably a good idea that we get rid of that, actually. It's probably not a bad shout. We are item locked, that's okay. We can get, I think we have 1 Dusknoir in there, so that's okay. Sure, let's just... We've got Hilda, actually. We can just... Tell you what, just... Hilda, take that. And, yeah, no Dusknoir in deck. We'll just take a Psychic Energy, that's fine. Alright, let's use that. Nice stretch. Yeah, we'll take that. Can't use it, because we're item locked, but we'll take it. Bosses as well, another Dracapult. I don't think we have space for that. Do we have... No, so we'll just take bosses. Cool. So if we stick that onto our Dracapult for the moment, we'll stick that. Still need the energy there, though. Still need the energy to... tell you what. Just Itchy Pollen. There, try and avoid getting that knocked out for the moment. We need, ideally, yeah, because we're going to get Itchy Pollen back. Or was it a good idea to have let that Budu go down? No, it doesn't make sense, actually. I don't think that makes sense for it to go, because we can't use Counter Catcher anyway. We're item locked and we're not behind in prizes. So what we can do is bosses. Yeah, we need an energy, basically, is what we need. If we get energy, then we can bosses something up like that Clefairy. Okay, alright. Okay, you can hit him for 70. What else do you want to do? Okay, interesting. What's it? Oh, because I got... Okay, it's a knockout because I've got Clefairy on the bench. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, okay. Alright. But we can actually play item cards now, that's also good. But it does put a lot of emphasis on that Neon Energy now, so we actually have to try and get that. Let's get Dusknoir out there. Cool. Alright. I honestly cannot remember. Let's flip the script. We need to shuffle our deck, because I think we got Iono, so that's going to be the bottom of our deck, right? So we're going to have to shuffle our deck. That's good to try and maximize drawing that. Cool. Right, let's use that. Let's see, can we hit it? No, there is. Do we need anything from there? We're not going to. We can actually utilize Holucha, actually. Cool. Let's take Dragapult down there. Cool. Bit of bench space now, so we can get Holucha. Some numbers. Do we? Yes, we want to use that. So we stick a. There we go. There's one on that. Yes, there. Anything there? Any numbers running up there? Probably not. I guess on Ho-Oh maybe. All right, Munkidori. Okay, so let's go with flip the script. another. This is really frustrating, actually. Let's stick a Dusknoir down there. So, alright, 6 energy, 5. Okay, so energy prizes. Alright, it's quite a hefty hand to be getting rid of. Are we going to get a counter catcher and a Neon Energy in the same hand? I very much doubt it, but whatever. We'll just try. Okay, wasn't to be, but that's fine. Let's attach onto Dragapult there. Let's try and bait the knockout so we can flip the script the following turn. Cool. Do we need anything from here? Are we going to get item locked? Potentially. Let's just make sure we guarantee there a Dracloak so we can get that down next turn. Alright, and let's do that. So the next turn we could potentially take, actually we can, it's not even potentially, we can. We can knock out the Mew in the active spot, or we can knock out something else. Maybe we can bring up the Latias, for instance, knock that out. Actually no, we want to knock out the Mew because I think that can also hit us back as well. So we can knock this out. It's also got, yeah, it's a Legacy Energy on there, so, okay. Yeah, so we can knock out the Mew. I think we're taking one prize card less, right? Yeah, okay, one prize card fewer, this is true. So we'll take one prize card there. And we'll also knock out the Clefairy as well, because we'll use Curse Blast with Dusknoir to get rid of that. So we'll take 3 prize cards, which means we need another 3 more. So I'm seeing that Amarouge there, and perhaps maybe the Latias as being the final prize card that we need to take, or the final knockout, so to say. So we'll stick the Luminous Energy onto the Dragapult, knock out the Mew, Curse Blast on the Clefairy before that, and then knock that out as well with the other damage. Okay, cool. I don't really know what more they can pretty much do here. I mean, they can't bosses or anything. They're item locked as well, and we'll should hopefully act. Yeah, we should have the ability to use Flip the Script as well. Squawkabilly. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I mean, to be honest, for me, it just makes it makes like no difference, to be honest. As long as we're taking 2 prizes. Actually, I don't know if that's a good play at all. I think it's an awful play, actually. We can actually knock out the... okay, yeah, we can knock out that and then take the prize on Clefairy, so we can get the knockout on that. However, I presume they're doing that because they've got Mew there, and as long as they've got Clefairy, they'll hit weakness as well. So that's probably the reason why they're doing that. So, alright. The question is... Alright, we are behind on prizes, which is not a bad thing. So, right, we need a counter catcher if we have one. Let's just, actually no, we don't want a buddy. If we get a counter catcher, that'd be great. Dusclops, I guess we'll take my stretcher, that's fine. Flip the script. Counter catcher, nice, okay. So we'll knock out the Mew and knock out the Clefairy, I think that's the play. So, cool. Nice stretcher. Alright, so let's just... First we'll Curse Blast. We'll stick the 130 over here. So there goes our Dusknoir. That goes down. Cool. We'll counter catch or bring up the Mew. It's looking a bit dangerous, that Mew, so we'll knock out those 2. There we go. Retreat that, go into our Dragapult, There we go. I don't believe we have any. Do we have any more Dusknoir, Dusknoir on deck? We do. Yep. Let's just put that there. It's fine. So we got that for next turn. Then next turn we can use the Night Stretcher to put that down as well. Cool. Oh, they just conceded. All right. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. So yeah, I think to be honest, the following turn, even with that, we could have just dug deeper into the deck and we could have just attacked the following turn with Dragapult. I know there's a bosses in there as well. There's also probably some more counter catcher. We wouldn't be able to use counter catcher because we're ahead on prizes. But I think that we would have had that pretty much in the bag. I think that game. So, but really, really strong deck. You can see that just by with Dusknoir, just by with Dragapult as well, you can hit a lot of numbers in the format. Hawlucha as well gets those 2 10s into 2 10s into 200 range, which is one shot for Dragapult as well. So really, really strong deck. So yeah, Clefairy is an issue for this deck, but there are ways of getting around it, as you can see. That the question becomes, I think, is how quickly they can recover that Clefairy. That's the issue. So, but let me know what you think of the deck. I'll leave it in the description box below if you guys want to go check it out and let me know what you think of the deck. So I think it's really, really strong. But if you do like this type of content and you want to see some more content related to the Pokemon trading card game, as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, like this video, that would be amazing. Otherwise, guys, there you pretty much have it. That was Dragapult. That was the second place list from the Pokemon World Championships. So thank you very much for watching and see you all in the next one.